breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty. Mornings on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty, and on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline, Louisiana Secretary of State Nancy Landry joining us. Nancy, good morning. Thanks for scheduling us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on today. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. We, recently we had an election where there were some issues, including some mail-in ballots. Convince me that mail-in ballots are safe and correct?
So we did have some issues in Caddo. We have human beings who conduct our elections, and sometimes human beings make mistakes. And luckily, our legislature had provided a remedy procedure in the code for when that happens. And so it resulted in us having to redo the election for the sheriff in Caddo Parish, which we're happy to do. We did have a few problems with our absentee ballots, and we plan to have a bill this session to address some of those concerns, actually multiple bills. But we have mail-in and absentee ballots for our elderly population and our disabled population, as well as 11 other excuses that you can have to absentee ballot and not vote in person. But in spite of that, we still have about 90% of our voters who prefer to vote in person, and they do come and vote in person. So people prefer to vote in person. We do have procedures to protect absentee ballot. We make sure that the person requesting the ballot is a valid voter, and we require proof that the person is who they say they are, including a witness signing to say who they are.
We had issues here with a couple of people went and voted. They mailed in a ballot and they went to the polls and voted because they were concerned, they claim, if their ballot arrived on time. We've raised the point of the ballots, the mail-in ballots are due at 4:30 the day before the election, which is a tight squeeze for a lot of people. Why don't we back that up a week and say those mail-in ballots have to be in, a week ahead of time? So we don't have that worry if someone mails their ballot on Wednesday, is it going to arrive?
And then that's a good suggestion. That's up to the legislature. Right now, they have it at 4:30 the day before as the deadline, and we've been able to make that work for the most part. Like I said, we do have human error occasionally, and in this case, the voter called and asked if his absentee ballot had arrived, and the registrar told him no, it had not arrived yet, so he went to vote in person to make sure that his vote was counted. He didn't have any ill intent, at least the one, and we have a supplemental list that goes to the polls to tell the commissioners when absentee ballots come in late in the afternoon on the last day. Well, that supplemental list was late getting there that morning, and so this particular voter showed up before the supplemental list did. So we've actually implemented some new internal policies that will prevent that from happening in the future. So we are now requiring that the supplemental list be delivered to the commissioner in charge the night before Election Day. So that should alleviate that problem. And we're doing extensive training with our Caddo commissioners. And we also have legislation that will address some of the other issues that happened in Caddo.
Let's talk about that. What are some of the bills that you're hoping to get passed that would make this error not happen again?
So one of the things that were alleged in the Caddo case was that citizens who were what's called interdicted, where their rights were removed from them for some reason, that they didn't have the right to vote and they still showed up to vote. And so we have a bill that would require that when someone is interdicted, the judgment has to be delivered to the registrar of voters where that interdicted person is registered to vote, so that the registrar knows and can remove that person from the polls. We also have a bill to tighten our ballot harvesting laws, and that would require an absentee ballot witness to provide an address so we can confirm who that individual is.
Nice.
And we want to make sure that individual is not witnessing more than one ballot for a non-family member.
Right, because
we have another bill.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. We have another bill that will require that there's uniformity across the state in how the parish board of election supervisors decides whether to accept or reject a ballot. That's actually a measure we've been trying to pass for a couple of years. We want uniformity across the state. These parish boards of election supervisors, they make the determination, but we would like to see the criteria uniform across the state. And unfortunately, that bill had been vetoed in the past. But we feel confident it's going to be passed again and that our new governor will sign it into law.
There was a question, and there's a question on a couple of fronts here, where if somebody mailed in the ballot and then went and voted, we've been told now that is a crime. You can't do that. But it seems to be nobody really is responsible for going and digging up and saying, hey, we're going to charge you with this. Who is responsible for that? I mean, it's interesting because there have been a lot of people talking about that here in Caddo Parish, obviously.
Right. We have a division. We have an election compliance unit in our election division. It's a group of investigators who go out and investigate allegations of fraud, and they are actually investigating allegations in Caddo Parish. So I can't really talk about any open investigations right now.
Okay.
But they are investigating allegations of fraud, and if somebody does intentionally try to vote twice in an election. Now, sometimes we have elderly people who forgot that they, voted, and they go in and we don't really go after them. They're usually the commissioners usually notice that and tell them, that you already voted, you can't vote again.
So if some woman on the radio said she was going to mail in a ballot and then go vote on Saturday morning anyway because the ballot might not have shown up, she intentionally is committing fraud.
She's knowingly breaking the law, isn't she?
So if that happens, that, like I said, the supplemental list is delivered to the commissioners, they would see her name as having already voted and turn her away, so she would not be allowed to vote again. And when you early vote, it's recorded in the system that you've already voted. And when you send in an absentee ballot, again, it's recorded by the registrars when they receive the ballot.
Okay. Hopefully they have the updated list.
Yes.
Yes, and so we've like I said earlier, we've put in some new measures to ensure that doesn't happen again. So they'll get that list the night before now, so the poll commissioners can update the books as soon as they get there in the morning.
We're talking with Nancy Landry, Secretary of State. Can you hold with us through the break?
Sure.
We got to take a quick break, and I do want to ask you about the Dominion voting machines after we get back. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Louisiana Secretary of State Nancy Landry graciously joining us this morning. Nancy, I do want to ask you, we're getting questions on our Shreveport Security Systems message board about the Dominion voting system in Georgia, where apparently a man was able to hack that system with a ballpoint pen, and he did it in a courtroom in front of the judge. Is that true? Do we have those same type systems here? And if so, are we taking and making efforts to secure them?
Well, as you know, we have a very old system that was actually manufactured by Sequoia, and which is the predecessor of Dominion. So those are our election day machines. We have some similar machines that we use on early voting. It is not the same machine that was used in that case. But also that's misleading information, because that individual who is a professor at a university was given unfettered access to the machine by the court for over 90 days. And anybody who has unfettered access to something like that can figure out how to hack into it. But it's more than just your equipment. Our equipment is not connected to the internet. It's what's called air gapped. It is never connected to the internet. So there's no way that someone can remotely hack into it. We also physically protect the custody of those machines, and so they're under lock and key. They're sealed with a tamper-evident seal in a public meeting in front of anybody who wants to attend, and unsealed also in a public meeting to prove that no one has had access to that machine while it's been in storage. And so we take extreme measures to protect the security of our equipment. We also restrict programming of our equipment by only our employees who are trained technicians. We conduct logic and accuracy testing on our equipment, and we have other safeguard measures. For example, we post the results at the precinct the night of the election before the results are transmitted on a secure, dedicated line to our office so that those results can be compared by the public. And we also conduct post-election audits to make sure that the number of votes match the number on the counter on the equipment. And so we feel like, taken as a whole, all of our measures are very safe and secure, and in fact have less opportunity for fraud than if we were using a 100% paper system.
Nancy Landry, Louisiana Secretary of State, early voting is starting Saturday. It runs through
Correct.
the following Saturday. It seems more and more people are taking advantage of that. And we have a new satellite location that's opened a couple of years ago here in Caddo. Are more parishes offering other locations for people to go early vote?
Well, early voting is very popular, and many parishes have additional satellite offices for doing that. It's usually, we have a criteria we use to determine whether it's needed. It's based on how far away voters are and how many voters there are in an area. And so we use that criteria to make that determination. But the parish also has to pay the cost, and so, it's up to the parish to put up that money as well.
But it's just as popular all across the state. People want to go vote ahead of time and get it out of the way, right?
People like to vote in person, and they like to, the convenience of being able to cast their vote early. We have, very generous early voting with 7 days of early voting, and we also extend that during the presidential to a few more days. The legislature did that last session.
Secretary of State Nancy Landry, I love the fact that we have voter ID in place in Louisiana. How do states justify not identifying a voter?
I just can't understand the argument against voter ID. I mean, why would you not want to make sure that someone is an eligible voter before they cast their vote? And in this day and age, everyone just about has a voter ID or has an ID or has the opportunity to easily get an ID. So we just think that's a kind of a false argument that people don't need to present an ID to vote. We think it's absolutely necessary and support that. And people in Louisiana, they think our elections are safe and secure. We have seen recent poll results that show that the vast majority, nearly 2/3 of the voters in Louisiana, agree that our elections are safe and secure.
Nancy Landry, one more question before we let you go. You have your magic wand with you right now, or crystal ball, I assume. A March election, and usually pretty typically low turnout. What are you anticipating? Let's start with Caddo, and then I guess statewide for the presidential primary. Obviously, a sheriff's race will draw a lot of people to the polls. Any idea what percent you anticipate will turn out?
I don't know those numbers offhand. I'd have to check with my policy director, who keeps all those statistics and knows, he can make a pretty accurate prediction usually, but I don't think the presidential preference primary is a very high turnout election. And in Caddo, of course, with the contentious sheriff's race, we do expect higher turnout. I do want to remind voters that the presidential preference primary is a closed party primary, so only Republicans can vote for the Republican candidates for presidential preference and their local party officials, and only Democrats can vote for the Democratic candidates in those races. But everyone in Caddo can vote in the local races, including the sheriff race.
How many are still on the ballot in the presidential primary? I mean, like the ones that pulled out earlier, are they already off the ballot, or do we still have a long ballot for Republican and presidential candidates?
I haven't checked it recently, so I'm sorry I can't answer that.
Problem.
But I think there's still everyone who was on it before. We haven't removed anyone because ballots have already been mailed out for the absentee ballots. We don't change the ballots after that. So they'll still be on there.
Okay.
If they pulled out, late withdrawal.
Gotcha.
Nancy Landry, Louisiana Secretary of State, thank you for joining us, and hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you for having me. You as well.
You bet.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Today's kind of my Friday, by the way.
I know. You're off tomorrow.
I am off tomorrow.
Sad for you.
You got a great little message.
This is so cool. This is from my friend Brandy, who says, 10 going on 40. Whose kid eats the exact same thing every morning in his red robe? He asks for a new robe every Christmas since he was 4, and watches videos while listening to KEEL. Just mine. Cross is an old soul. Oh, it says it in the post what his name is. I'm a dummy. Cross.
Did it?
Yeah. Morning Cross, we can't thank you enough for listening. You got to come visit us one day. In your red robe, come visit us.
Come in the studio.
Yes.
Bring your cereal.
Hang out. Yeah. I love this kid. I bet he's a straight A student and he's going to run the world one day. Go Cross.
It's a great picture of him sitting there at the bar there eating his breakfast, listening to KEEL.
I hope he's not eating Apple Jacks though. They're awful.
It looks like Fruit Loops, but I don't know.
Okay, Fruit Loops are all right.
Cross, thanks, buddy. We hope to see you soon. I've got a question I want to ask you that I don't think you'll be able to answer.
Okay.
I was knocked out. And Ruben, you get ready too, because I'm going to ask you right after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710KEEL.com.
Breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, you're just going to have to forgive me. This is not really pertinent to anything local.
Okay.
But I was just kind of, when I saw this, I said, wait, what? What? If I were to ask you, who do you think the top paid actor for 2023, not all time, but in 2023, who is the top paid actor? And if you've looked it up or if you know, then shut your yapper.
I'd say Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Cruise is a good guess.
See, I would think,
somebody like that. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm blanking on
Leo
names.
or something.
Leo. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Let me just run down this real quick. Denzel Washington, number 10.
Okay.
Ben Affleck.
All right.
Number 9.
I thought he'd be higher on the list, but okay.
See, I'm surprised he's in there, but
Wow,
okay. DiCaprio and Statham tied for 7th. Jennifer Aniston.
Ooh.
For 2023. Matt Damon and Ryan Gosling at $43 million. They're
Barbie with Ryan.
Barbie, exactly. Number 3, Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Number 2, Barbie, Margot Robbie.
All right.
Okay, the top paid actor in 2023 didn't even have a film out in 2023.
Okay.
Adam Sandler.
Really?
I'm sorry, does that blow you away?
Is it from things he's produced, I guess?
Netflix. They said he can thank Netflix for this.
He did make that super sweet deal with Netflix where he's making money out the wazoo on his last few projects that he's done on Netflix.
Wow.
And one of them was Hubie Halloween, which is the silliest, goofiest movie I've ever seen in my life. It would be great for kids, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. But he makes a lot of money on his movies.
Okay, and if you think he's just this dumb, goofy moron, you could not be more mistaken. And first of all, I love the fact that everybody that works on his sets, when he does films, say he's the nicest guy. It's a family atmosphere.
He buys them stuff.
He's just the greatest guy to work for and work with.
Yeah.
But also, the man's incredibly talented. Ruben, what is that? What was the movie where he was that New York jeweler? The jeweler dealer?
Uncut Gems.
I couldn't breathe that whole.
Really?
Aaron, I went to the Robinson and saw that.
Yeah, if you have bad anxiety, like make sure to medicate before watching that movie.
Really?
Take a couple of shots of Jameson before you go sit in that. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I was literally probably holding on to the seat, the arms of my seat.
Okay.
He was incredible.
He did really well.
Very
Absolutely.
talented.
There was another one like that he did also. Another one. Just incredibly talented, but the number one paid actor in 2023 was Adam Sandler.
That's incredible.
It makes sense, but I wouldn't have guessed that. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that, but that does make a lot of sense with his deals with Netflix and all the streaming stuff he's been doing.
Now, speaking of G-Unit Studios, have we heard anything new? Is there anything?
The last thing I heard was they were making some improvements to the building before they could come in and do anything. So they were doing some things in the building. But I don't know, did the clock start ticking? Because he's got 90 days. He's got to have something going in 90 days.
Like a project being produced.
And if it goes dormant for 90 days, the city can revoke the contract. So that was one of the clauses they put in it.
And I can't see that if he's actually making an effort.
No,
they're not going to try to jump in.
At day 92, they're not coming in. Right. They're not coming for him. So, we'll see. And I know you're excited about Sunday.
The
Oscars. I know you'll be glued to it.
Oh, I've got my DVR already set.
We'll see if Adam Sandler wins anything. I don't think that's happening.
He wasn't in a film in 2023.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be good. It starts at 6, though, unlike normal.
Unless they get Ricky Gervais to host.
That's not happening.
That's the only way I would tune in.
It's your pal Jimmy Kimmel again. And
Jimmy.
Gosh. I can't even stand to hear him on a promo or something.
And he's like, don't forget to watch the monologue. It's earlier this year. You're going to miss the monologue if you don't. If I miss the monologue, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be all right.
If I miss the Oscars this year, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't need you. Anyway.
I do hope Oppenheimer's a big winner. It is an incredible film if you haven't seen it.
I'm going to have to watch that again because I was kind of like, Wait, what? I did. I enjoyed it, but it was like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I'm not going to spoil the ending, but there's an explosion.
Yeah. I was fascinated by that town that they built.
Yes, that was incredible.
The workers. That was incredible.
It's a great movie. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Coming up. Speaking of next hour, we open Barefoot in the Park at Emmett Hook Center.
Oh, yes.
This weekend.
Oh, cool.
Friday night. Tonight's our final dress rehearsal.
You up on the stage.
I know. So I'm looking forward to that. But one of the kids, I say kids, I don't know how old he is, 30-something, that's in the show. He's going to come join us for a few minutes later this morning.
I hope you break a foot.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's not what it works. Oh, that's not it. Oh,
and break a leg. Do you know what that actually means?
No.
I'll tell you after your money now. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Back with McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
FM 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
So it's break a leg.
Break a leg.
Not break a
for
foot.
some reason means good luck or
okay.
Because apparently it's bad luck to say good luck. So you say break a leg, or generally I say good show, to somebody as they're getting ready. Good show. But break a leg has nothing to do with your appendages.
Oh.
Actually.
Okay.
The etymology of the word, is that correct? Is that the right use of that word?
I don't know.
It's not like the study of entoms, is it?
Not sure.
Okay. But on the stage, you have your main curtain in front, okay, that opens. Mm-hmm. But also in the set itself, there are black curtains in the back that are along the sides of sets and things like that,
right?
To mask so you can't see backstage.
Okay.
And they're black. He probably never paid any attention or realized they're even there. Well, those are called legs. Those curtains are called legs.
Oh, okay.
So when somebody says break a leg, you're opening that, kind of going through the is supposedly what that means.
Okay. Well, and good to know
for
that.
For the two people other than me that care.
I think I've been in 3 shows in my life, and I was in 2 of them. I was a boy. I was in Beckett, and I was one of the.
Wow!
I was one of the
Peter O'Toole movie.
Yes,
and about the king.
And I was one of the boys in Oliver. Please, sir, may I have some more? I was one of the boy orphans in that one. Why was I always a boy? I don't know.
Were you at an all-girls school?
No.
Say yes.
No.
Say yes.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's why you were a boy.
But they were easy outfits, just like brown robes. Those are easy. Didn't have to make any kind of elaborate. Because those were the days when, if you got picked to be in a school play, and I think the Oliver was when I was in 5th or 6th grade, Mom made the outfit.
Okay.
It was, it wasn't that they don't have these professional where somebody's making everybody's outfit now and everybody puts in $100 or whatever it was. Mom made the outfit. And so they said, here's the material is here. Here's where we want you to get the material and just make a robe.
Well, speaking of things that we're not going to watch, we were talking about the Oscars last segment. State of the Union address.
Tonight.
President Biden tonight.
You're not watching?
Aaron, I can't. How? It's nothing. He can't. I'm at a loss. I'm baffled at how he can say anything positive.
I'm watching for the stumbles. I want to watch for the train wrecks.
I know,
but I do.
But that's embarrassing.
I know.
Can you imagine you're in another country and you're going, that's their leader?
Mm-hmm. I do want to shout out Speaker Mike Johnson, because last year, if you remember, during the State of the Union, there were Republicans that were shouting down the president. I mean, they were, standing up. And Mike Johnson said, this will be decorum.
Decorum.
We will have
is the
decorum
order
tonight.
Of the day.
So I'm glad to hear that from our own speaker, and I'm hoping that they take that to heart.
And he'll be on camera, too, by the way. He'll be up there.
Oh, absolutely.
Next in that old Nancy. I wonder if he'll get up and rip the speech in half.
I don't think he's going to rip the speech in half. No, I doubt it.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. .117 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty. Caddo Parish Commission wants to do a new resolution declaring a public health safety emergency.
They want to ask the state to declare it. I think that's what the resolution calls for. I'll have to look.
So I'm working. I'm expanding my business. I live in Denver, and go, the South is really looking great. Look at these states. I'm going to expand. Oh, wait. There's a health emergency for crime in North Louisiana?
I think I'll go to Tyler.
I think I'll relocate my business or expand my business over to Marshall, Texas.
Is this really a message we want to put out there? And
unnecessarily.
Yes.
Unnecessarily, I might add.
Call up the sheriff, call up the police chief, and ask him about the crime numbers. They're going to tell you they're not up dramatically like everybody wants you to believe.
And there are some that are down.
Yes, exactly. Where was the emergency last year? When you put out a public health emergency for crime, you're sending a message to the rest of the world that we can't control this problem, that we're in a major situation and we need help. We need extra help. We need, whatever.
Well, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser last week told us, when he's in Australia, he's having to, and his words, deflect questions about, New Orleans is dangerous. I don't want to go to New Orleans because it's dangerous. And now you want to send that same message about Shreveport.
If you can prove to me, yes, there's a bucket of money that we can get if we declare this, and we can get A, B, C, D, and you can prove that to me.
And and that bucket of money needs to be able to hire new police officers.
Right, exactly.
Not a one-time stipend.
I just find, and if you recall, I believe the city council passed a similar measure right before the Independence Bowl.
Got me all.
I believe the mayor vetoed it, saying it's not necessary, and he went through all the things we've done to address crime, all the things, and he went through the crime stats. Let's bring some people up today and let's hear the crime stats. Is it really a public health emergency? And I know people are going to say, well, maybe it's not in your neighborhood, but it is in mine. Community-wide, yes, we have a crime problem. But what message does this send to the rest of the country? And is that really the message we want to send? If somebody Googles, move to Shreveport, and it pops up, oh, they have a public health emergency for crime. We already know, and they're not going to say it on the record, but we already know when military folks get sent to Barksdale, they go Google and they say, oh, man, that's not a safe community. They already struggle with folks that get sent to Barksdale going, man, I don't really want to go there.
I don't want to put my kids in those schools.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's already
I've heard that.
It's already a problem.
And
now
I hate that.
I hate that too, because we want this community to be one that opens our arms. We welcome people. We have some of the best and brightest and some of the greatest things to do. To send another negative message like this, is this really the right thing to do right now? We're struggling to keep people in our community. This is another message that, oh, you don't want to come here. You don't want to move your family here. Really? Is that what we need right now?
Well, but also, Aaron, say that word. What does this do? So now you declared a public health emergency. Mm-hmm. Now what? What have you done? What does that accomplish? What does that accomplish?
Does the money train arrive tomorrow?
I'm angry about this.
And let's get the experts up there. Let's hear from the experts to say, do we need this? Let's get the public health officials up on there. Let's get the sheriff up there. Let's get the police chief. Let's hear from those folks who say, hey, it's an emergency. Help us.
Right.
I don't hear them hollering
I don't think Police Chief Wayne Smith is going to say that. I don't think Sheriff Jay Long is going to say that.
No. I don't think you're going to find anybody.
I don't think if you asked Sheriff Steve Prater to come back in and address it, I don't think he would say that.
No.
Let's declare a statewide public health emergency for Shreveport.
Because of crime.
Because of crime.
No. It's not what they're not going to say. And they should be the ones making that call. Not a 12-member political body that, is guarding their little kingdoms and they want to make a statement because they can. I think you're making a mistake if you vote for this. I think you're making a critical mistake that if it dissuades one person from moving here, it's on you. Or if it causes one person to go, last straw, I'm done, I'm moving to Benton. I'm moving to Stonewall. These people are nuts. I'm out of this town. If you cause one person to do that, that's on you.
I remember hearing something years ago, like sales related. If one customer is happy with your product or service, they'll tell 3 people. And I'm just making these figures up, but it makes the point. But if they're unhappy, they'll tell 10 people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So now you want to tell the people to be unhappy.
Yeah.
And they're going to, and with social media, Aaron, and the way this crap spreads.
Yeah. Let's pass
You're not doing us any favors.
Let's pass a resolution that we have the best fishing in the state of Louisiana here. If you want to fish, here's stupid example, but let's pass resolutions that tout our great things.
Let's highlight some positives. And there are positives.
Oh.
Don't message me and go, ain't nothing good about Shreveport. Then get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
If you're that miserable.
Bye-bye.
And if you're that unhappy, go.
Bye, Felicia.
Find someplace else that's going to make you happy. There are those of us who are here, are from here, and want to make it better.
Absolutely. And sending these negative messages is just you poo-pooing our whole community, and shame on you for doing it.
Thank you. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, I want to follow up on our last segment because we need a public emergency declared, a public health emergency due to crime, like we need a hole in the head. Pun intended. Message on the Shreveport Security Systems message board. What message does this public health emergency send? Exactly. This city is run by woke idiots.
Whoa.
Charlie B says people are not just leaving Shreveport, they're leaving the state because both are so dysfunctional. And that has been true in recent history. But we've had a Democrat governor for the past 8 years doing his best to destroy this state, just like our federal government and Joe Biden is trying to destroy our country. But with this new legislature, this new governor, hopefully we've already seen things change.
Right.
And I'm hoping that outward migration is going to slow down and come to a stop, and we're going to start turning that around.
Sure.
When people see, okay, they're not all idiots.
Well,
they were before.
When you go and pass resolutions like this,
right,
you need to think before you vote yes today. You need to think, and we're talking about, if you're just joining us, the Caddo Commission could vote today to pass a resolution urging the state to declare a public health emergency about crime. When you vote yes for that.
To what effect, I ask?
Yeah. What's it going to happen? If your yes vote makes somebody's mind up about locating here or makes somebody's mind up about leaving here, is that how you should be voting? Is that what you should be doing? Because you're going to make somebody leave here that is paying taxes. That is, let's take me. I decide this is the last straw for me. This Caddo Commission, they're nuts. I'm no longer going to give them any of my tax dollars.
I'm not helping.
I'm going to Benton. I'm going to Stonewall. I'm moving to Wascom, whatever I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I'll drive to my job in Shreveport and Caddo Parish, and I'll work my job. But then when I get home, I'll go buy my groceries in my neighborhood. I'll go buy my shoes in my neighborhood. I'll go get my dog food in my neighborhood. I'm not going to spend another nickel in your parish. You're going to have a problem. You're going to erode your tax base even further.
Well, and we've seen it happening. Because
you're running people off. And do we really want to do that? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's woke nonsense that's not going to do any good. We need to address the root problem of these crime issues, get to the bottom of it, find out who these people are that are continuing to wreak havoc in our community.
Keep them in jail. When you have them in jail, keep them in jail.
Or do programs that can prevent them from growing into criminals. Put programs in place that will keep them from growing into criminals. That's what our leaders need to be doing. And that's the things that they're trying, and they've been working on the early childhood education piece to this, but we never have enough money. We can't reach everyone. It's hard to identify who these folks are. But I would like to hear from the sheriff, the new sheriff today. I would like to hear from the district attorney, from other people to say, you know what, declaring a public emergency might help. It might get us X, Y, Z.
Let me know how that will help.
Yes.
Because right now, all I see is it's a detrimental move to our community.
You're just political posturing, and your political posturing might cost us people, might cost us visitors who see online, oh, man, there's a public health emergency in that city. I'm not going there. We're not going to stop there for lunch.
Not only visitors, but new residents.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things that I think they mean well. I really do.
Do you, though?
I do think they mean well. I think
though?
I think they think it might help, but it's not. It's going to do way more harm than good.
Going to change gears. Coming up after the news, bottom of the hour, we've got Barry Larson, one of the actors in Barefoot in the Park, opening at Emmett Hook Center this weekend. Coming up, Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
In studio with us this morning, a new friend of mine. How old are you?
I am 36 years old.
Okay. Oh my gosh, really?
I am.
I wouldn't have said that.
I know. Yep.
He looks 26, doesn't he?
He does.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
You do.
Barry Larson in studio. Barry is playing, I almost said
Paul,
Corey
yeah.
Bratter. Paul Bratter in Barefoot in the Park at Emmett Hook Center, and we open tomorrow
We
night.
open tomorrow! I am so excited. So very excited. I just wanted to say before we start, Hosi Maling.
Hosi Maling.
What the heck's that?
That's a little thing from the show. If you want to find out what it means, you got to come see it.
Okay. All right.
Tidbit. Yeah.
Velasco says it as he's coming in.
It's Emmett Hook Center, correct?
Emmett Hook, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. How do I get tickets if I want to come see the show?
You can buy them online or you can call the ticket booth.
Okay. And is it this weekend and next? Is it one
Yes.
weekend? Okay.
2 weekends, yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's
Friday,
exciting.
Saturday, Sunday, we have evening shows on Fridays, and then Saturday and Sunday we have matinees.
Now I know Anna, the girl playing Corey,
Anna
your
Cernan.
wife. It's it's a Neil Simon
Yeah,
classic.
describe Barefoot in
Absolutely.
the Park. What is the show?
Sure. It's basically about a newlywed couple who fell in love and kind of rushed into marriage. They're kind of a opposites attract type of situation. Corey Bratter is sort of a free spirit kind of person where I play Paul. He's more of the button down, straightforward, conservative kind of guy. He's a lawyer. And they have a great week in the Plaza Hotel in their honeymoon, and then they move into an apartment that is not really up to Paul's standards. And
Reality slaps them in the face.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
And Mike, you played like the upstairs neighbor, annoying neighbor.
I'm the
Victor
wacky upstairs neighbor.
He plays him beautifully.
Okay. That's
It's
is
so
it
much
a family
fun.
show, would you say?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
cool.
nothing in there that's not family friendly.
Absolutely.
It's
yeah.
Neil Simon from 1962, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a
Wow.
very, very fun show.
It's
Okay.
one of the longest running Neil Simon non-musical shows in Broadway history.
That's wild.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Emmett Hook Center, for folks who don't know, that's right next to First United Methodist Church.
Yes, ma'am. Right at Texas and whatever street that is downtown.
Okay. How long y'all been working on this?
What are we at now? 8 weeks?
A few weeks, yeah, several weeks.
I mean, it both seems like a long time and not long enough because I always get to this point and I'm like, dang it, it's almost over.
I
You
know.
know?
Yeah.
It works so hard. And you get to meet cool people like Mike over here. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And I get to meet great young folks like
Yes.
these. And are you from here? You're not from here, are you?
No, from Texas originally.
Okay.
Born in Dallas and raised in Greenville, Texas, which is about maybe half an hour north of there. And then went to school in Austin and then came over here. Family in Louisiana. Decided to try out Louisiana. Ended up liking it. And
What do you do here? What do you?
kind of a lot of stuff. I help
Okay.
out on some farm work in Grand Cane. I'm going to start teaching guitar lessons for some kids in town.
Oh, nice.
I help run a little theater in Grand Cane. We use this historic school's auditorium. They actually shot part of a Denzel Washington movie, The Great Debaters there.
Yes.
So we put on music shows and a little shout out to that, thevillagetheater.com if you want to
Okay.
check that out. But yeah, kind of a lot of different stuff.
Barefoot in the Park, Emmett
Yes, ma'am.
Hook Center opens tomorrow.
By the way, Ginger Fulmer is in this.
Yes,
she hasn't
Ginger.
been on stage in a while. The grand dame now of local theater.
I
She's
love that.
Fantastic.
The grand dame.
She's so much fun.
She's amazing.
So much fun.
She's the sweetest person.
She's been a joy to work with.
Absolutely.
Rick Stovall and,
Yeah.
and
got
Anna
Rick.
Sterneman. Anna? Does she say Anna or Anna?
I say Anna. I think
do
she
too.
says Anna, but then some
Okay.
other people say Anna. So Anna or Anna. I think Anna.
She's young. She looks about 16.
I think, yeah.
She's not from here, but she's fantastic.
She is
so cool.
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
She really is so much fun.
I
Yeah.
hope y'all have a great show and break a foot.
break a foot. We're going
That's
to break
not
some
it, right?
feet.
That's
It's
not
close.
what you do, is it? You
Not
don't break a
it.
foot, do you?
Barefoot in the Park, Emmett Hook Center opens tomorrow night, runs for 2 weekends. Barry, thank you for coming out, man.
Thank you so much,
I'll
Mike.
see you here in just a little bit.
Looking forward to it, man. Appreciate it.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty.
Got a lot of friends who are educators, work in the either teachers or in education, and they put out a news release yesterday, Caddo Parish did, that they're going to give a one-time stipend to all Caddo Parish school employees, from everybody that works in the cafeteria to everybody that's been on staff since that was on the payroll as of February, a certain date, a $1,200 check.
Okay.
And those checks are going out tomorrow. As they get ready to go off for spring break, they're going to get a little bonus check. It's coming from federal money, the Emergency Education Relief Fund that they have to spend, I think, by September, I believe is the date. And so they realize we have this pile of money. We need to do something with it. So let's reward our teachers to help them kind of fend off inflation.
Oh, come on. They only work 9 months out of the year.
God.
They don't need more money.
Mike Martindale is the name. Mike Martindale said that. That was not me. But the problem is the state gave a one-time stipend, last year. I think Caddo Parish has done one and now another. Teachers are crying out for a pay raise. This is nice. This is wonderful, but let's codify it. Let's give a raise. Let's give a meaningful raise to keep teachers in our state, because if second to law enforcement, we're losing teachers. I mean, they're moving to Plano and Lubbock, and where they make a lot more money.
Look back on your life. Look back in your childhood. The people that impacted you.
Oh.
Other than your own parents, who were the most important people guiding you in your life? Are teachers.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
There's nothing more important than a good teacher.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
On the flip side, I don't understand the concept of tenure. I'm going to throw a stick in those spokes.
Okay. Mike Martindale is his name.
Look.
I know.
Good teachers, absolutely, and pay them. Mm-hmm. Pay our police officers,
Right, exactly.
Pay our firefighters. Mm-hmm. Our society values so much crap that we're not valuing. Back in the day, grandparents were revered members of the family. They used to live in the same household as the family.
Sure.
You didn't pawn them off to a nursing home. We're valuing the wrong things, and teachers should be valued.
Yes. And that's
I
what they say.
That.
They say these one-time checks are good, but let's put it in the law. Let's pass a meaningful raise to try to keep our teachers in our classrooms. If we have good ones, let's keep them for a few more years rather than watch them retire, because they can ride off into the sunset if they want. And let's give them more money and try to keep them in their classrooms.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I would ask you, when you leave here, what do you do? What does your day consist of? But I know you still work. You're watching city council meetings, and you're
I'll be watching the commission.
Commission meetings, and you wake up at 3 and 2 in the morning, and then you're posting stuff. I'm like, my gosh. Do you ever just go fishing, or do you have hobbies?
I do.
I know you do Wine Wednesday.
I do love to read. I love to drink wine. I'm in the pool typically 3
That's
or 4
true.
days a week.
Yeah, you do. You go to the Y there,
and
you just walk over there, don't you? Because you're so close.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I drive because Night Street's all done, and it's signs went up.
I saw
Did you see that?
Posted that. Yeah.
Signs went up on Night Street yesterday. Utility work. I was like, no, be still my heart. There was a utility crew on Night Street.
15 years later.
Oh, man. Bids, by the way, for Night Street, not that I know anything about this, are due March 12th. So we'll get the bids in.
That's sooner than you think. It sounds like a long way away, but that's like 5 days from now.
I am prayerful that the bids will come in. They'll be within budget, and they can award the contract, and we can move on and start the work. But yeah, I have some hobbies. I haven't in a while, but I like to play pickleball. I haven't in a while because of my shoulders, but pickleball is one of my hobbies too. I
really?
Like it. Yeah.
Where do you play?
We play at the Y. That's where I have played before. But I've played in a couple.
Right there in Preston?
Yeah, they have them. They have pickleball nights there.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of cool. They have a pickleball league that plays there, and there's a good group, and you can just wander in. I think you pay the $10 if you're not a member, and you can come play pickleball. Look at their schedule. It's cool.
We played the last time we played out at South. What's it called? The park out south on Burt Coons.
Southern Hills?
Southern Hills.
Yes.
They've got beautiful pickleball and like 12 of them.
Oh, they're putting more. The city is doing more and more pickleball.
Yes.
Because it's hugely popular.
Now, in the middle of August, they don't have any coverage. It was a little warm.
And that's when the indoor pickleball courts become premium.
Right,
and because
yes.
pickleball is like, it's growing so fast they can't keep up. And I love it. I'm a former tennis player, reformed tennis player.
Same here.
My first trip to Shreveport was for the state tennis championship in high school, and I had never been to Shreveport before. I thought this was where rednecks lived, and I came here to play at Quirby's.
Yeah.
And Quirby's at the time was equivalent to one of our ritzy country clubs.
Aaron,
Quirby's was cool.
When I worked in country radio on Alexander Avenue, I would get off the air at 7:00 and go straight to Quirby's.
Yeah.
Like 5 nights a week. And
Yes.
I'd play tennis until like 10 o'clock at night.
Love tennis.
I loved it.
Probably couldn't do tennis anymore, but pickleball, and you know what? Truth be known, and we'll wrap up today, any sport that has the word kitchen in it, I'm down. I'm down. You got a kitchen when you play pickleball. I love it.
We open tomorrow night, Barefoot in the Park, Emmett Hook Center, so I'm off tomorrow.
Scott Hughes is coming in.
Scott Hughes. And
yes.
you've got Caddo Commission news that you're going to be doing tomorrow.
Grace Ann Blake is coming in early in the show to talk about what they do today on the votes. So we'll have lots of updates tomorrow.
Make it a great weekend. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.